Shalom Akim, Yabashima Shai Barakatam. This brother Menash for the DC camp. Double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men of the Lord doing the work of Yabashima Shai in sincerity and in truth. So I just got another update as per what's going on in Babylon, because I know the economy is going to tank, just a matter of when the Most High is going to let it happen. So, I stay in Virginia, but at one point in time, I used to be in Maryland, PG County. So, for brothers are well aware of, being in PG County, Prince George's County, Maryland, we usually call the place, according to the elders, Capernaum. It's where the well-to-do Jakes are living, of the northern and southern kingdom. Yeah, so, the Mossad basically pulling the plug on this place slowly but surely. It's going to be budget cuts across the board, because Trump talking about the EPA, how they got to streamline it to make it more efficient, avoiding waste and all that stuff. Hey, but it's going to happen regardless, man. Whether they want to make cuts to avoid waste, because they got to make the system tank anyway, so they could bring in the RFID chip. So it says federal cuts could have major impact on the PG County. Alright, so it says federal agencies have been instructed to start making plans for job cuts that line up with President Trump's budget. The cuts could hit PG County, Maryland, particularly hard. So in PG County, we got all kinds of government agencies, man. I mean, one for a fact that I know of is the Census Bureau. I mean, brothers could do a search on the other agencies, but for the most part, we got other agencies over there. So, I'm just going to read a quick precept now, because as men of the Lord, you know exactly what's going to happen before, salvation before salvation arrives through Yahushai. That destruction got to take place. So I'm just going to go over to Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. Because the Most High talks about the Lord being born again, meaning that attachment to Babylon is going to be broken, slowly, just like having that like a crackhead being taken off that substance, man. You gotta go through like a 12-step program or whatever. So that's what it's like for the men of the Lord, to flee out of Babylon, flee spiritually. So this is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. And it shall come to pass that in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh Shai, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. Alright. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen, man. Because that withdrawal is gonna happen, man. Moses is basically gonna take the mind of the men of the Lord off on depending on Babylon for everything, although it's still under the curses, but we're gonna be delivered out of it. But for the rest of the nations and 2/3, they're gonna have a hard time. Folks that have invested so much into the system, they're gonna feel the pain the most. Yep. So I'm gonna go over to let's hold over to Matthew chapter 11, verse 23, because this is where the well-to-do Jakes reside, in Prince George's County, because Yep, they got good jobs. I mean, they're living good. So we have Matthew 11, verse 23. And thou Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shall be brought down to hell. If the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. So it's gonna be crazy, man. In PG County, once the Most High start pulling the plug in Babylon, man, as the economy start to spin out of control very fast, it's gonna be very crazy. So I'm just gonna go into that interlinear and just see exactly what we got to deal with. So Capernaum, or that's a Greek word. So that's G2584. You click on that. So you have Capernaum, all right. So it says, according to outline of biblical usage, see Capernaum is a village of comfort, right there, village of comfort. Okay. So you go back into the Hebrew and look at it. So you have it's a compound word, all right. So you have H3723 and you have H5151. So kapar, all right, that's a word for village. And then the next one you have the na, the ka, the wa, and the ma. So that's nakawam, nakawam, nakawam. So that's comfort. So let's see. Let me try to pull up that the Hebrew word. All right. So the word for village in there, that's kapar. All right. Village. Okay. It says it's protected by walls. All right. Hamlet, because of its affording shelter or covering inhabitants. I'm just going to keep this brief. Then go back to the next one. Says that's the name of Nahum, the prophet of Yahweh Shai. So that's comfort right there. So the village of comfort is going to go through courts. So the time of living deliciously here in Babylon is coming to an abrupt stop. Yep. Yep. So I'm going to move on to Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. Just to remind brothers, not to get too comfortable in this place, man. The elders talk about it. You weren't brought over here to Babylon to come serve, vacation. You're here to serve captivity. There's nothing sweet about being a slave here in Babylon. It's a bitter experience. So I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. So this says, Rise up, you women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Yeah, so it's going to be crazy for these women out here, man. They have those well-paying jobs, government jobs, private sector jobs, because a lot of the private sector businesses depend on the government for all these contracts. Yeah, have those women that have all these businesses that get those government contracts. They're gonna go through tough times when they start to streamline. Start to you know cut back on the amounts of contracts that are being awarded. So it says, "Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." So let me look up that word vintage real quick. Don't want to use up all the storage on this device. So the word for vintage there is you have the ba, you have the za, ya, and the ra. So that's batazayar, vintage. Right. Let's see what else. How that put us. Just like vintage. That's see the root word goes with wine. In Spanish you have vino. Yeah, so the word we use for wine. So okay. Let's see. Give me one moment. Okay. Clipped as grapevine, the grape crop vintage. All right. That's what it boils down to. So all the goodies, the funding coming from the government is gonna come to an abrupt stop. It's gonna slow down so bad. Businesses will have to file for bankruptcy. That's what's gonna happen. So verse 11 says, "Tremble, you women that are at ease, be troubled, you careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloths upon your loins." All right, so it's going to happen not just to women alone, but also the men too. Yep. "They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine." Yep, so it's going to be terrible in Babylon now. Yeah, because a lot of folks depend so much on that funding. Yeah, that, they're always doing the number crunching, man, checking with the accountants, to see what's going on, man. They got all these financial controls, but when the money's not coming in, what is there to control? Yep. So let's make it quick and go to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 6. So it says, "But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth." Alright, so pleasure is one thing, the men of the Lord guard against. Yeah, so the word for pleasure in the Greek is spatalao. Spatalao. So it says to live luxuriously, to lead a voluptuous life, to give oneself to pleasure. So, having that mindset of Capernaum, of living large, living nice, is going to come to abrupt, stop. I keep saying those two phrases, abrupt stop. But hey, whatever, brothers understand, it's going to totally come to an end. It's going to be tough in this last days, not just for Jake's living large, but for the Edomites too. All those six-figure incomes to having a household is going to be very terrible. To experience the decline of wages and income. Yep. So it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, folks gonna be stressed out. You always see it in their spirit, you know. So go back to one of our favorites, chapter of books, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. So it says, remember now that Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Yeah, so right now we still have that period of grace, to get in the great, getting the good, the good mercies of Yahweh Shema Shai, because the evil days they're creeping up slowly. Yeah, no, the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So, it's one of those things you gotta be careful. Yeah, living in pleasure is the dangerous thing. So look up the word pleasure one more time in the Hebrew. Alright, so the word for pleasure. Alright, so it says that's kapatazar. Alright, that's kapatazar. Kapatazar. Right, so it says delight, pleasure, delight, desire, longing, the good pleasure, that in which one takes delight. So yep, all that. Yes, all the perks of this society was going to be taken away. So remember now that Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So that's a time of destruction, man. When there's no wisdom in the streets, total darkness, smoke everywhere. They say there's no smoke without fire. Yep, so there's gonna be a lot of destruction. Yep, bombs going off. Houses being burnt down. Yep. So verse 3 says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grandeurs cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. So keepers of the house, the senators, the businessmen, the mayors, they're going to be in total fear. They already have their bunkers, to go hide out, thinking they're going to escape judgment. Then it says the strong men shall bow themselves. So law enforcement, aka your first responders and military or whatever, they decide to see themselves as they're gonna be in total fear, man. It says they shall, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grandest cease, because they are few. So unemployment. I look up the word grinders. So the word there is thakan. Alright, and then it says to grind, to crush. So that goes along with employment. So it says takan, to grind meal. Okay, to be a concubine, that being their employment. So that's the key word there, employment. Yep. And the grandeur cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So daughters of music being brought low is it's a key indicator that Babylon is almost out of here. Entertainment. It's not on the same quality it used to be. Stars just dropping left and right. Charlie Murphy just passed away. Comedians dying left and right. Musicians, actors, whatever they want to, call themselves, they're just passing away. But that's just the Most High's signs coming to pass, because the elect's gonna see that and they're gonna take note of it. Yep. So the time of comfort in Babylon is coming to an end. So Lord willing, the men of the Lord, take a good lesson, and then always remember. Yeah. And just keep the Most High in your thoughts. That's one thing I always try to do. So Lord willing, I'll make another lesson so you brothers could keep up with what's going on in Babylon. So Bashima Barakatam to all the brothers and the apostles and elders in Great Millstone. Shalom.